US President Donald Trump has said he is, quote, very angry after hearing about an alleged Ukrainian attack on one of Vladimir Putin's residencies in Russia. Trump made the comments to the press just moments before a meeting with Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu in Florida on Monday.
It's a delicate period of time. But this is not the right time. It's one thing to be offensive, because they're offensive. It's another thing to attack his house. It's not the right time to do any of that.
Yes, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky described the claim as, quote, typical Russian lies, and has accused Moscow of trying to derail peace talks. He said the allegations intended to give the Kremlin an excuse to continue attacks on Ukraine, including on government buildings. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said on Monday that 91 Ukrainian drones were launched at President Putin's residence in the Novgorod region, and that Moscow's stance on the negotiating table would now shift. He did not clarify whether Putin was present at the residence during the alleged attack. Russia's nuclear-capable Oreshnik missile system has entered active service in Belarus, said the Russian Defense Ministry on Tuesday. The ministry released a video showing combat vehicles that are a part of the Mobile Intermediate Range Ballistic Missile System driving across a forest as part of combat training. The ministry's announcement follows a statement from Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, who said earlier this month that the Oreshnik had arrived in the country. Russia first tested a conventionally armed version of the Oreshnik to strike a Ukrainian factory in November 2024. Putin has bragged that the missile's multiple warheads are so fast they can't be intercepted. The Russian leader has warned the West it could use it next against allies of Kiev that have helped Ukraine strike Russia with their longer-range missiles.
About 100 people were stranded at 2,800 meters in the Passo Mora area of Macugnaga, Piedmont, Italy. A cable car accident on Tuesday morning left 6 people injured after a cabin hit a wall at the top station. Everyone has been evacuated to safety by helicopters. Among them were 94 tourists and 5 employees, including children. The system, built in 1962 and overhauled in 2023, failed to decelerate properly. No serious injuries were reported.
A severe storm off the coast of Istanbul in Turkey has caused 2 oil tankers to collide. Around midday on Tuesday, emergency services were called as the tankers encountered massive waves and crews struggled to keep control of the vessels. One of the tanker's anchor chain became entangled with the propeller of the other nearby vessel. Given the proximity of the ships to the shoreline, response teams were immediately dispatched to the area. It has been reported that both vessels sustained minor damage.
What are Europeans' favorite EU travel destinations? In 2024, EU residents went on holiday to other EU countries for an average of 6.8 nights. Greece and Romania recorded the longest stays by visitors from other EU countries, surpassing the EU mean with around 9 nights on average. Differences in trip duration across Europe are often linked to transportation accessibility and proximity to other countries. Visitors spend on average €851 per trip, ranging from €344 in Slovakia to €1,476 in Cyprus. For instance, the price and distance to reach Greece, Spain or Cyprus, along their popularity as holiday destinations, motivate tourists to stay longer. In contrast, Belgium's proximity and accessibility to the Netherlands and France make short visits of a few days more likely. More than 2 in 3 nights in the EU are spent in rented tourist accommodation. Hotels or similar accommodation came on top with 39%, while 25% of all intra-EU tourism nights were spent at a house or apartment and only 7% in campsites. EU residents made 250 million tourism trips of at least one overnight stay to destination in other EU countries in 2024. Around 1 in 4 trips in the EU took place during August and July.
Kosovo Prime Minister Albin Kurti is set for another term in office after his party secured a commanding victory in snap parliamentary elections on Sunday. With nearly all ballots counted, the left-leaning Self-Determination Party won around 50% of votes, substantially ahead of two center-right parties. The elections followed a 10-month deadlock after Kurti's party won the most votes in February but failed to form a government. It remained unclear whether his party secured the 61 seats in parliament needed to govern alone. Kurti said his government formation would proceed as quickly as possible.
And I look forward to cooperation with opposition regarding some international agreements that are pending, and we need two-thirds majority for them.
Kurti's government will have the challenge of approving a budget for next year in a country with one of Europe's poorest economies. He has also taken a hardline position in EU-mediated talks on normalizing relations with Belgrade, a condition the EU has set for the country's accession path.
Syria has unveiled its new banknotes more than a year after the overthrow of Bashar al-Assad. The new president said the banknotes mark a new chapter for Syria, which hopes to develop strong economic ties with the region.
حدث تبديل العملة هو عنوان لأفول مرحلة سابقة لا مأسوف عليها وبداية مرحلة جديدة يطمح لها كل الشعب السوري والشعوب المنطقة المتأملة بالواقع السوري الحديث.
The banknotes, which have been stripped of Bashar al-Assad's face and that of his father, will begin circulating in the new year.
وأيضا آلية الاستبدال من خلال التوفر هناك يعني أزمة سيولة أيضا موجودة في البلد فتوفير هذه السيولة بشكل تدريجي بحيث لا يضر على يعني طرحها بشكل كبير في السوق ما يؤثر على حالة تضخم في البلد.
Chinese fighter jets and warships have flooded the waters surrounding Taiwan as Chinese troops conduct drills simulating the seizure of ports. Beijing ordered the extraordinary military exercises after the autonomous island concluded a major arms procurement deal with the United States. The move coincided with a statement by Japan's Prime Minister, who said Japan would provide military assistance to Taiwan in the event of a Chinese attack. Beijing tested not only the combat readiness of its air force and navy, but also placed its medium and long-range missiles on high alert on land. Taiwan's leadership described this as a direct threat of war.
的安全稳定现状，更是对国际法与国际秩序的公然挑战。对于中国当局无视国际规范，以军事恫吓手段威胁周边国家，我国表达严厉的谴责。
Taiwan's defense ministry said in a post on X that rapid response exercises were underway with forces on high alert to defend the island. In a separate statement, it said it had deployed appropriate forces in response, conducting combat readiness drills. The most likely scenario, however, is that this is yet another show of force and no one will attack.
Some of the biggest names in sports are gathering in Dubai this week for the inaugural World Sports Summit. The two-day event brings together current and former athletes, industry experts, and decision makers to promote sports as a positive force that transcends borders. Held under the theme, Uniting the World Through Sports, the summit has drawn more than 1,500 participants from over 80 countries. From world champions to sports executives and policymakers, the focus goes far beyond what happens on the field.
Now it's very important because a lot of Ukrainian people, soldiers, child say me, hey, it's important because you win, it's motivated people, people believe it's true, возможно. It's possible.
Along with celebrating major athletic achievements, the summit also discussed the dark side of sports, the strain on mental health, intense public pressure, and being away from loved ones for long periods of time.
Many people might not really assess how important this is, and when the athletes, and you've seen the names today, you've seen the level of athletes that we had, the level of validation and comfort they had, that we have really opened up to discuss these points, was amazing to hear, and for them to be part of those conversations.
It's a beautiful event here in Dubai, bringing together, gathering really the best of the best in the sports world. Of course, I represent football, which is the best sport anyway. But even just the football legends who are here, world champions, not just an administrator, but these legends, they make the hearts beat in football, but also all the others who are here from the other sports.
As global sport continues to grow and evolve, Dubai is positioning itself as a place where those conversations can happen, inspiring future generations and bringing the world together through sport. Adil Halim, Euronews, Dubai.
Fireworks sales have begun in the Netherlands, likely for the last time before a nationwide ban.
Dit is denk ik het laatste jaar afsteken en dan is het klaar.
A new law already passed by both houses of parliament is expected to take effect next year and outlaw sales. People can buy permitted consumer fireworks until the evening of Wednesday, 31st of December. Industry groups say advance orders are higher than usual and retailers expect strong counter sales. Some customers say they are disappointed by the ban, but also understand the safety concerns.
Ja, eigenlijk wel jammer. Toch wel traditie, vind ik.
Ik vind het op zich wel jammer dat het een beetje fysiek wordt door een kleine groep. Maar voor deze jongens, het kleine vuurwerk kan volgens mij niet zo kwaad. Maar ja, het is wat het is.
Ik zou zeggen dat de politiek onder druk heeft gereageerd, denk ik. Tuurlijk, we vinden altijd ongelukken plaats. Maar de meeste ongelukken gebeuren in mijn optiek met illegaal vuurwerk.